You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for the first episode of The Flash. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking me if I was going to review the show, and I've kind of been hush-hush about it. I really kind of been ignoring some of the questions, and because The Flash holds a pretty special place in my heart. He's probably the one DC, it's like a guilty pleasure for me. He's one of those characters I really love, but I don't really talk about too much. I couldn't explain to you why. That's just how it's always been. And I remember watching the show in the 80s, and I was a big fan of it. I actually used to watch it with my mom. My mom loves The Flash. And some of you who've been here for the channel for a while, you kind of realize at this point, my mom's really cool. She loves Godzilla. She loves The Flash. You know what I mean? And she's actually very technologically hip. I mean, she knows how to use tablets, and she can even troubleshoot her stuff. So my mom's a very hip woman. And, you know, it was nice to see the old Flash. I think his name is Wesley Shipp, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was good to see him in this series playing Barry's father. So as far as the show in and of itself, I mean, of course you can never judge a show, in its entirety in one episode. But, I like, if they keep what they have going on with this show, I think I'm going to enjoy it. It's, you know, compared to Gotham, which I've been watching, it's a little bit more lighthearted, which is good. It's a good change. A lot of shows, you know, this whole serious stuff, it seems to be the fad now. Where this one has, I think, a good balance. You know, there were some nice, charming moments. There were actually some moments that were very emotional, which I found, and they were good. You know, the guy who plays the Flash, I have his name here. Let me pull it up here real quick. Gustin. I mean, he was fantastic. I was very impressed at the end of the episode when he's having a conversation with his father. And man, the guy shed tears, man. I mean, that's tough to do, you know, when you're an actor. So I like him. You know, he's obviously this Flash is very young. But I like the guy, the actor. I think he's solid. So the episode starts with him narrating about, you know, himself and things like that. And, you know, he's a forensic scientist. And it was so funny when the show started and he got there late, and the sergeant or the lieutenant, well, the guy who plays him is Patrick Sabongi. And for those of you who've been on the channel since last year, you remember we interviewed Patrick Sabongi here in E.T.N, me and Damian Bravo. Damian Bravo, Universe G. We both interviewed Patrick Sabongi here when he was in a Godzilla movie. We interviewed him for that. So when I saw him on the show, I was like, holy shit. And he didn't die. He didn't die. That's fantastic. So we might be able to see him again. That's great. So that was nice. That was nice to see him there. I didn't know he was going to be on the show. Again, I've been quietly excited about the show because, like I said, when the show in the 80s was out, I loved it, man. I was all over that shit. So when I saw they were doing the new show, I'm like, yeah, but you know, again, I try to, when I get really excited for something, I try to kind of keep myself level, because, you know, if it turns out to be a disappointment, then then if your expectations are too high and it turns out to be something you don't like, then you're really like pissed off almost. But, so, you know, he gets there late, and obviously this kid got skills. I mean, he figured out what the hell it was they were looking for, within like 5 minutes. And, you know, it's interesting. You know, it starts, you know, the way it started with, showing what happened to his mom. And that's, you know, again, I didn't read too many Flash comics growing up. So if there's any link from here to the comic, I'm not going to remember it. But the scene that took place with his mother and that flashlight, I got a sense that has something to do with him. You know what I mean? Like when they showed for a quick second, like his, like the silhouette of what was surrounding his mom, I almost saw like his headpiece. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if sometime in the future of the show, or maybe sometime soon, he gets to be so fast that he goes back in time. I don't know. But then we saw at the end of the episode that the doctor, he's hiding some shit, because obviously he can walk. And then he had a paper of the future. So obviously there's a lot of things going on there that we're not going to find out for quite some time. But, you know, that we'll definitely tackle that as it goes. But that's what I noticed in the offset. That's just my speculation and my assessment of what I saw. So anyway, so back to the show. I like the way they set up the whole, you know, the particle machine or whatever it was. I forget the name of it right away. And I know I just finished watching the show, but the name of the machine escapes me for the moment. And but I like the way they set it up. The special effect for that scene when that machine went off was phenomenal. I was really impressed. Like, I sat there and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's some damn good special effects for TV. I was really like, whoa. And I like the way that boat hits him, Barry Allen. That's how he becomes the Flash. But also I like the fact that it wasn't just him that was affected. It was a lot of other people. And that sets the stage for the enemies and the challenges he's going to have to face going forward. So I thought that was a good setup. I thought they did a good job really setting up their world, their universe, basically. So then he's in the coma for 9 months. And I'm wondering, now this is what I can't remember, because I remember in the old show, Barry Allen, whenever he used too much of his energy, he had to eat because he had such a fast metabolism, where it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing that in this show. I mean, it's still early. It could come as he gets to learn his power and he pushes himself. Maybe that's something that he can, you know, maybe that's something that they'll incorporate. So, but that's actually kind of something I was looking for. And I'm not saying that's a disappointment or anything. It's not. I think, I'm just kind of wondering if that's something they're going to explore down the road. It's possible, I guess. It would make sense with the whole metabolism thing. You know, and then I want to talk about the scene with him and the Green Arrow, because this is another show that a lot of you guys have been asking me to review. And I know the season premieres tomorrow. I have not seen season 1 and 2. And because of that, I can't really, there's really no right for me to try and review season 3 if I haven't seen the first 2 seasons. However, I will say this. I like the scene so much that I think I am going to go and watch the first 2 seasons, probably this weekend. At least the first one. Whether or not I watch the first 2 seasons in such a way that I can actually watch the 3rd season, then maybe midway through I'll start doing reviews. But I really like that scene, you know, because even though I haven't watched Arrow, I know enough about him in terms of, because a lot of people watch it, a lot of people talk about it, a lot of people are always telling me about it. A couple of other YouTubers that I collaborate with watch the show. So I knew enough about it that I could appreciate the scene, especially when the Flash runs, when the Arrow jumps off the building and swings across, and Barry's like, cool. And then Barry takes off and Green Arrow looks at him, he's like, cool. Like that mutual appreciation. And I really like that scene. And I'm like, damn, I really should watch that show. I was like, you know, especially if they're gonna, in case they incorporate them both into the future, which it looks like that, you know, if you have both of them on CW, that's very likely to happen. But, you know, the show in and of itself was really cool. I definitely like the special effects. That was really what stood out to me. That's what really impressed me the most. I didn't like when they show Barry running from the front. That just, to me, I didn't like the way that looked. But when, at the end, when he's about to take down, the villain, I think his name is Clyde Glenn or something like that, Clyde Glenn, the doctor gave that speech, which I thought was a really cool scene. And then they show the Flash run off, and they show him running around the tornado in an angle, and I thought that was great. I love that angle, the way they showed it, where he's kind of like racing, and they just show the light and the tornado, and he's whipping around it. That I liked a lot too. That was really cool to see that. And I'm really, really interested to see how the special effects are going forward. You know, TV shows don't have the budget of movies, so, you know, sometimes you wonder, is this just a spectacle for the pilot, and is it going to downgrade going forward? From what I've seen in the highlights coming, for shows coming, I don't think they tail it off very much, but I would have to watch a couple episodes in their entirety to really figure out whether or not they toned down the special effects, because of budget. But I thought the first episode was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I was into it. You know, when the doctor looked at Barry and said, hey, you know, you're no hero, like, I was on the couch and I literally said, fuck you. Like, I was like pissed. Like, I'm thinking, cause, you know, I like the Flash, and I'm like, that's my boy Barry. You can't fucking say that to him. That's the motherfucking Flash. He'll run around you in circles and your skin will just peel off. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So I was into it. I felt bad for the dude, you know, when he came out of his coma and Homegirl's with the other dude and he's all butthurt. Not butthurt, I shouldn't say butthurt, but, you know, he's hurt. You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of liked about this show. There was that, a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? There's some pretty decent action, good special effects. some really emotional parts. You know, the scene with him and his dad was really good. You know, I felt a lot for him because the frustration of nobody believing him about what happened to his mother, especially the cop, the Guardian cop that was watching over him. He didn't believe a fucking thing he said, and he tried to convince him that his father's a murderer. I mean, can you imagine how frustrating it is for so many years to pass by when people think that you're just not necessarily full of shit, but that you're kind of like not there, and when in actuality you are. You're telling people what you saw, and it takes a crazy accident, people seeing your powers and the powers of other people who are not using them for good, to really understand, hey, there's some shit going on here that's beyond my comprehension. Maybe I should start listening to this guy. So I really liked it. I really like the nice mixture of all those different roller coasters. You know, emotion, good action, good special effects, some good acting. Very good acting. I mean, that kid was great. And then nostalgia. You know, you got nostalgia with the old school Flash up in there playing Barry's dad. So it was fun. It was fun. I'm very happy that the first episode was good and that I enjoyed it, because it was a concern. You know, I like the Flash, and I didn't want it to suck, you know, so I didn't want it to suck. Plus, it's motivating me now to go watch Arrow, because there's obviously a link there, and I did appreciate that scene. So I'm going to start working on that, and hopefully I can catch up enough to at least do some of season 3. But if not, I'll make it for season 4. Anyway, guys, so that's it for this review. How did you like the first episode of The Flash? I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And, yeah, let's hear your thoughts on the comments down below. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page.